All right. So again, that drill is really simple and straightforward. Someone is throwing an attack and somebody is throwing a defensive action, right? But we can revisit that exact same, it's basically what we did in the first hour, right? The single action kind of drill. But we can revisit this with a better knowledge of structure and be able to troubleshoot a little bit more effectively. So with that in mind, what kind of troubleshooting happened? How do people feel like, oh wait, I learned something, or I made a mistake and I fixed it? Let's hear some stories. Yes, Claire.
I feel like I throw an initial cut and then sort of collapse into what the correct structure is supposed to be after the fact.
Interesting.
That is like if I had thrown it correctly the first time, would have been better.
Excellent, right? So on the attacking roll, if you throw hitters and you're like, wait a second, some of my hitters have busted structure. That's something you can work on and recognize just by throwing them. Oh wait, this is not working at all. Let me put this through a lens of structure and fix it. I saw a hand over here. Ryan, go for it.
I was noticing too that we had the chance to throw those slowly. You know, oh, I did this wrong. I can take a step back, try it again, and move it correctly.
Exactly, right? So if we control the pace of our actions rather than just saying, oh wait, well the correct answer, this is an Oberhau. Well, that didn't work. I'm just going to throw it 5 more times. Again, I like to say moving at the speed of understanding, right? That's how we can understand, wait, the structure here is busted of this Oberhau. I'm going to change that and slow it down and then bring the speed up once you have that consistency back up. Just like if you're playing music, you don't try to play, well, you shouldn't just try to sight read a tempo if you're trying to play something on the piano. You start slow, you get it right, then you bring the pace back up, right? Other success stories or challenges. Yeah, Casey.
Just the concept of long and short.
Yeah.
Really helped figure out if you did do something wrong, that was the reason why. Round up, was it because you did something wrong instead of short, where that's what would round up on that spot because of that.
Yeah, there's guidance about when to throw long actions versus short actions, and certain pairings of guards and attacks will work or not work. It's not a hard and fast rule of like, oh, I will throw a long action if they are in a short action. Generally speaking, lengthened actions are good for wanting to gain control at distance. Shortened actions as attackers are generally pretty good if you know exactly where their threat's coming from. So for example, with a Schielhau, if I'm in a flute guard, I can move this way, but I can also extend out. Whereas if I'm in an ox, right, like this is a little bit harder for me to extend to. So if I crump into this, which is a shortened action, as we discovered, I have more control because I know where the threat's coming from, right? But you can kind of derive some goals from lengthening a shortened structure and understanding some principles from that. Yeah, one more point before we move on. Yeah, go for it.
There are certain pieces of advice that make more sense because they tend to result in good structure. Hands first tends to make you face where your hands are going. It's hard to do with natural body mechanics to put your hands somewhere and then step in the opposite direction. So to get those hands out, you'll kind of naturally follow behind them. So the hands out advice that I've always gotten is really important. It feels more important now because the hands out first helps you align your chest to where your hands are.
Absolutely, yeah. So who's heard hands first or sword first as a pretty common advice? Pretty much everybody here. Everyone should have heard it, right? One of the reasons why that's effective is it helps you be able to get into a good structured position and then calibrate your distance. There are a lot of fencers out there that will play a distance game to get to the position or the distance where they can throw the one type of calibrated action they're at. It's like, well, if I throw my Oberhau like that, I know that I need to be at this position, so I'll play a footwork game and throw that action. But if you work on throwing your hands first, now you can understand how to calibrate that and say, well, I can throw the same action from different distances, and that adds a dimension to your game, right? So with that, kind of a general question. So I just told people to throw hitters and defend them, right? Who felt that was a little chaotic at times? It was a little bit of chaos, right? Generally speaking, I saw people kind of doing the correct pairings and counter pairings and stuff, but sometimes weird shit happened, right? That happens, okay. So then the question is, how can we, if we're trying to attack, how can we read our opponents to choose the correct entering action so that it's less chaotic? Yeah.
What I'm going to say is correct, but it's not going to work at the speed of trying to force them or trick them. You can flip, you can feint, whatever you want to say. Try and make the finger use.
Yeah.
It's just hard with the speed.
So you're on the right track. Provoking, or depending on Myris, we talk about provoking, right? That's a valid way to enter. And at the end of this, we're going to talk about when you want to provoke and entice action versus when you want to just go for it, right? But before you even choose an action, what is a good way to help you decide? Or what lens can we use to read what we should do to attack? Say again? What your opponent is doing, okay, but let's put language from today. What do? We read what? Read their structure, right? Read the cues that they're giving based on the alignment of their sword and body, because what they're showing you gives you an inkling of what you should do, or potentially what they want you to do, but we'll get there in a second, right? Reading structure is not just fixing our actions in terms of their quality, but also helping us with our decision making. So Jason, if you come train with me, this next game is called Set to Strike. This drill is called Set to Strike, I should say. What Jason's going to do is he's going to take turns adopting different postures that are structurally broken, right? He's going to have his sword out in one position, his body's going to be out in a different position, and that's going to create an opening. And my job is to choose the correct counter action to enter where he is open. So take a position, any position you want. Okay, interesting. So what position is Jason in? Long point. Is it a strong long point? Why is it not strong? I hear multiple answers.
Well, then I stopped because you're left-handed.
That's
I don't know if that changes things, because now he is pointed at your dominant side.
interesting. Okay, let's play this game for a second. Go back to the exact position you're at, and as you are, just drop your sword right down, like put it on the ground, and go back into your hand position, right? Is he strong or is he weak? Right? Now back up, stay in that position. Is he strong or is he weak? Now. Is he strong or is he weak? Drop your sword. Is he strong or is he weak? The strength and weakness depends on both parties, right? But let's say for simplicity that he is weak because his sword is just really far out here, right? It's like way far out and I can get over his sword really easily. So, I mean, spoiler alert, what should I do? Oh, was it?
Overbind and set.
Overbind and set. What is a set?
That's how I keep taking sword and going.
Yeah, it's an offensive taker. It's a taker on offense. I am putting my sword in a structurally aligned, strong position so that I have control and then I can proceed to hit safely. So a good set against a long point like this might look like that. So let's look at my body structure. Is it aligned? Am I long or am I short here? I'm long. Why? It's fully aligned through here. Am I strong or am I weak? Right? And then what can I do from here safely? I can walk forward or thrust or something like that. Now, what if I don't read his structure properly, do it again, and I go, oh wait, I want to try to throw an attack, and I throw an attack like this, right? Am I long or am I short? I'm a little shortened, but I'm kind of sort of long. I'm in the middle. I would say a little shortened. Am I strong or am I weak? Weak, why? I don't have mechanical advantage. So what can Jason do? Wah! And he hits me back. Aggressive doubling, right? So setting is about gaining advantage on offense so that we can proceed safely and hit through an advantageous position. So Jason is good. It's going to look like this. I'm going to be righty. Jason might be there. Now I go set to strike like that. Don't just hit him, but like get the set correct. Now choose a different position. I change an action because his weakness is over there, and I counter it with the right strong structure, something different. Something like that. Right? Well, I missed that. Fucked that up. Right? Like that. Okay? So have one training partner just rotate between structurally busted weak positions, and the other one try to set properly by reading the structure. Understand where they're weak and go towards the strength that is indicated. Sound good? Find your partners and go for it.